welcome back to the channel. My name is Hen and this is Crafting from the Broom Closet. Today we are doing the letter M from the hashtag ABC April 2025 and we are doing mini journals, and here's some I made earlier. Although one of them isn't a completed journal and one of them is just a prototype, but it'll give you an idea of what we're doing. So, simple ones. A little bit of decorative paper. These both are made from scrapbooking paper. Cards, but you can use a bit of cardboard. You can use magazine cover. You can use anything that you find pretty. You can decorate yourself, or you can have it just already decorated like this. And then what you do is you get some bits of paper. So this one is actually made from the scraps that were left over from the books I made before. So this is scraps of the tea dye paper. That one's folded over for some reason. Let's unfold that. And then you just get a stapler and staple them in the middle. As long as this part here is short enough to go under the arm of your stapler, you can staple them in the middle. These, I've got the staples going on the inside, which is probably where you want them to be. This one, however, I did it with the other way around, and the staple opening is on the outside. Well, it's the same sort of thing. This is just A4 printer paper that I've just cut up into size. This one's been used as a shopping list. Yeah, loads of spelling mistakes. Apparently they're Yorkshire, not Yorkshires. But yes, that's what this is. What my, it's a good thing no one needs to see my handwriting, isn't it? As long as I understood what it meant, that's all that matters. But yeah, so just using this one as a shopping list. But yeah, so there you go. So we've got that one and that one. They're probably the simplest that you can make. But how can we make these using the scraps that we already have? Well, there's been a little bit of a theme of playing cards, using up some old playing cards. So, get your playing card, fold it in half, get your bits of paper, put them in the middle, staple away. There you go. Nice little notebook based on a playing card. Or, so this is a strip of the fabric that was left over from the cover that we made. You get your bits of paper, wrap it around, trim it off to size, staple away. I would show you me stapling them, but unfortunately my stapler is on walkabout. This is what happens when you haven't got your room set up yet. Still not set up. I'm so ashamed. Should have been done ages ago. But yeah, so simply cut that to size, staple it. It's not a very thick cover, but it's still a nice little cover. So that's just some basic things. Right, yep, there you go. A little basic, very simple. All you need is a stapler, something to use as a cover, and some paper cut to size. Really easy as that. Now, this I was playing around with, and it is just a book page that I've folded. And I just think, once you put some paper in the middle of that, this might be a little bit small. Yeah, it will work. You can attach that in the middle there, and that will make a nice cover. Although my writing's upside down, so how can we deal with that? Simple. Again, you get whatever you're using. So this one, it's almost perfect size there, and you glue that on. I could use anything. I could use this paper, for example, fold it over, glue it on, and there's your cover. And what's special about this is we have an opening here. There's a pocket. We have an opening here that's a tuck spot, which means you could do things like pop in things. I mean, that might be a bit thick, but you could put things in these pockets. Yeah, possibly not another notebook, because you're already making this into a notebook. Example, there you go. You've got that pocket there, you've got that pocket there. So So that's quite cool. Now I'll show you how to make this. The other one that I made is this one, and it was following a tutorial on a channel called Creating with Rally, and it's obviously is a prototype. I've just shoved some receipts in there. I wouldn't use them, but it gives you this pocket here. It gives you these tuck spots here. It also gives you this tuck spot here, whilst giving you a closing. And this one I've stitched in, not very well stitched in, but I've stitched in using what's called a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. But I messed it up completely. Not stitched it in tight enough. This is just a prototype. I just wanted to see how easy it was to go through these without having a tool to puncture it. And it was quite easy. So we'll be able to do that with a needle. So, I'm going to get my stuff together and we're going to start making. So let's start with this one, this fold. It really is a simple fold. You're basically making a paper airplane. You're folding this down. You're folding that up. And then we're just stitching the thing. So, obviously this is book paper. This is quite pretty. And like I said, you could, because that's upside down, you could glue something to the front there. And that's what I'm going to do now, actually. Where's my glue stick? I say I'll get everything prepared and then forget the glue stick. Glue stick, where are you? There we go, found it. I'm hoping this will stick, because this is obviously this one, actually, no, this one should be fine. This one has not been treated with any moisture, no grease or anything, so it should be fine. Shouldn't have any problem sticking it. So we'll pop that down. I think I left the lid off this glue stick yesterday for a little bit too long. It's a little bit tacky. Pop that down like so. And then hopefully it sticks. Missed a bit there. Put it all over this side this time. Pop that down. Making my desk sticky. I'll wipe that off. There we go. Make sure we brush that all down. And that should be your cover. And now you would just attach your pages inside. But yes, so remember there's a little pocket there. Little pocket there. And then 2 tuck spots here. Once this is sewn in or stapled in, this will stay like that and gives you two more places to tuck things. So that's that cover done. I'm not going to stitch it in now, but yeah, you would put like your papers in there. I'm not going to stitch it in because I haven't actually cut any papers to size for this, but that's what you would do. You stitch that in, and then this becomes a pocket, this becomes a pocket, and you've got the pockets here. You could cut out a little notch there so the pocket's more noticeable, but I think it's okay as it is, like this. So that's that done. Really easy, but I want to do it with a same sort of thing, slightly bigger concept. Remember the faux leatherish type paper we made out of the Amazon envelope? Still see writing on there? Let's make one of them out of this. So I've got a fixed seam there, so I'm going to fold it down beyond that. There we go. Down like that. Do your triangles. You're making like a paper aeroplane. I think I need to come down a little bit lower with that. Obviously, you don't want to go over the top of this. And then fold that up. And there we have a cover. I really like that. It's so soft, look. I do like this. We have got the pocket there and the pocket there. I don't know if I'd use it on this because I think with the paper being this fabricy feel, they feel a little bit loose and not tight. So I might try gluing them up. Let's do that now. Glue down the sides, glue down the sides. Don't really need it all over, but I'll just put a little bit extra there. Just need to glue down the sides. Hopefully this sticks, because this one has been treated with a hand cream, and I've not tried gluing stuff that's been treated with a hand cream. But let's have a look. It is just glue stick. It's not strong glue. If you had stronger glue, it would definitely stick, but I'm not sure if it will with this. Let's have a look. I think it'll be fine once it's dried. But yeah, stronger glue would definitely help. But I think that's fine. It seems to be bonding okay. So your paper aeroplane, I said fold it up like a paper aeroplane. Lift that up. I have cut some papers to this. And this just shows you. So junk journaling is, what I've shown you before is just plain paper. And junk journaling isn't normally just plain paper. It can be anything. So this is what they call a signature that I put together. So you've got a bit of tea stain paper there. This is, oh, I'm upside down. Start at the beginning. We've got a bit of tea dyed paper. There's a book page which I made a little tuck spot with glue down there. And it's a pocket for things to go in. That's a bit of the McDonald's napkin. More tea stain paper. A bit of the brown paper. More book page, which I've done just a triangle fold on this one. So it's giving you some more places to tuck. And then it's just the same on the back. Just a few pages there. You can add more pages. This one will probably hold more pages actually. And the other thing that you could do, because with junk journaling, they don't need to be all the same size. So you could put this in front just to give, when you open the page book up, something different to look at. You can decorate these as well. So, how do we attach this? I'm going to teach you the free hole pamphlet stitch. Let me straighten up that bit of tissue that's gone off skew with. So obviously you fold them in half. So you find the centre, rough centre. Make sure everything's lined up. The tissue paper is sticking out the top and not the bottom. So let's slide that down, hopefully. The tissue paper, the napkin. So I'm leaving fairly a large amount of journaling space on here, but also places where you can tuck things into. Pockets like this and like this. There you go. So we find the centre, or roughly the centre, and we get a needle. Now if you're using much thicker materials than this, you may need something to pierce holes with. For a freehole pamphlet slip, you need thread that is 3 times, or 2.5 at least, times the length of your book. I've already threaded this, but this should be plenty. 1, 2, yeah, I've got 3 times. You line it up. If you're doing it thicker than this, I would recommend you use a paper clip or something to secure this in place. But this is quite small, so I'm not worried about it too much. You pierce through the middle, all the way through. See, I've not tried this with this. Yeah, that's not going through. That's not going through. Brute force. There we go. Yeah, see, it will go through. You pierce through the middle. You come out the other side. Do not let your tail go all the way through. Leave yourself a fairly good amount of tail. This is embroidered thread, but I've split it down so it's not as thick, basically because I couldn't get the needle to thread. So I thought, you know, let's reduce it. So I do need it to go through this to hold this in place. So we do need the upper stitch to be in that, on that piece of paper. So you come, oh, see, this is why you hold it with a paper clip. So you come back through. Let me pierce the holes first. Which is really what you should do anyway. There, pierce the hole. And let's pierce the one at the bottom. You want them roughly about the same distance apart. So I think that's about 1 inch or so. About there. On the seam, obviously. Pierce the hole. Right, okay. So now I come in from the back. Through the hole I've just pierced. Hopefully all the way through. If you can't get it to go through the pages straight away. See, you can always adjust it. I don't think I've gone through that purple one. I might have done. I can't tell. I think I'm on the edge of it. Is there a hole? Oh, yes, there is a hole. I see it now. So this is why you should use a thicker hole system. It's there, I believe. There we go. It is now. But you should be able to line all of these up. If you'd paper clipped them together, like I should have done, they would already be all in place for you. But there you go. I'm messing this up. Messing this up completely. I can see the hole. It's there. It's there. Where are you? There you go. There we go. It's there. So there we go. Remember to keep this thread out. So we're going through that. Now we go all the way down to the top, to the other one here, the bottom one. You can go either top or bottom when you do that first stitch. This should be easier now. So we're going back down here. There we go, through the bottom. Back out the other side. And then what we're doing is we're coming back through this middle hole from the back. Here we go, like this. And hopefully it should go straight through now. It's all lined up. We'll see. We'll see. No, it's not. It's gone completely skew-iff. Okay, there we go. Don't think that's gone through the hole, but it'll work. It will work. It will work. Right, you want these strings either side of this string here in the middle. This is probably not done strong enough because I oh, that didn't work. Have I got one either side? I think because it hasn't gone through the hole, it's very confusing. Oh, I've gone straight through the string instead of the other side of it. That's what you do not want to do. So hang on, take that out. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I've got one. I've got, yes, it is either side, but because I didn't go through the hole properly, it looks funny. Anyway, tighten the knot. Make sure it's tight first, but not too tight. You don't want to tear the paper, but that should be tight enough like that. Tighten the knot. I'm really not setting a good example here. Tighten a bow. I'll try to set a better example on the next one. Well, I haven't actually got any pages cut for that, so we might have to make some. Okay. Come on, work for me, please. Why can I not tie a bow? Why can I not tie a bow? Don't. Let's just tighten a double knot. Make it a triple knot. I actually think it looks better like this anyway. So that's nice and secure. You can either leave them hanging down or you can, as I am going to do, trim off. There you go. That is really badly done. It's gone all skew-if, it's gone sideways, but you know what? It will still work. It's definitely gone skew-if and gone sideways. I think I will undo that and start again. But yeah, you get the idea. So that's how you sew it in. And now you have a pocket here that you can put things in. Pocket here. We've glued up these pockets here that were available on the other one. But you've also got pockets within inside the actual signature. There we go. But it's quite cute. And that can tuck into your big journal, or it can just be carried around in your pocket. Now let's move on to the complicated one. I'm going to use this pretty pink paper here. That is not straight. Let me get that cut straight. Bear with me. I'll be right back. There we go. Nice and straight. That's better. So obviously I want this on the outside. This is the outside of the cover. This will be the inside. It's a little bit creased, but that's fine. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to mark the centre here. Don't want to fold it, properly fold it. Just don't want to fold anyway. Okay, I think it's the type of paper it is. So we'll just get in, line these corners up, mark that little pinch there. Same at the bottom, or top now, as I flipped it around. Just a little pinch there. Okay. Your next step is to fold these sides into that centre mark, like so. And then this one, again, lining it up, making sure that everything is straight. This one, you have to be a little bit more accurate than you were with the letters that we did yesterday, but this is pretty much the same first step. Okay, and then we'll fold it in half this way, again making sure you line everything up like so. Because it's a quite thin paper, I am using my fingernails to score it, to make sure the lines are quite high creased. If you haven't got fingernails or you're using thicker paper, you can use the handle of your scissors, that will work. Or you might have the right tools. I do have the right tools, but I'm not getting them out, because the whole point is I want to show you how you can do it without tools. So we open that up like so. And now I've got to remember the next step. Okay, next step. My brain went mushy then. So you bring this up and line it up with that centre fold. Like so. And then you want to fold it back on itself, like so. And bring that fold up to the centre point. So what you end up with is this little flap here. Score it down. Use whatever you need. I'm going to use the back of my scissors this time because I'm going through more layers. There you go. So you got to that point. Then we want to take this corner and we bring it up so it lines up with this fold here. I think you can see that fold there. See the fold there? So you want to bring that corner up so this edge here lines up with this fold here, like so. And you do the same on this side. I've got glue on my fingers. So the bottom edge is lining up with this fold here. Like so. And then we lift that up to there. now this is now our bottom edge, and we're bringing this one up. So this here lines up with this fold here. So this side one lines up with this fold here. Like that. Make sure you score that well. Same over this side. Score that well. Then you bring that back down. We fold these in. Oh. Fold the sides in. Oh. Why are you going like that? There you go. Fold the sides in. And there you can see we now have our two little pockets. And now we can work on this side. Well, that's gone a bit off, a bit askew. Let's straighten that up. There we go. So we need to make sure that these are lined up. You don't really want a gap in between them. You also don't want them overlapping. So now, as kids, we all made paper airplanes, and the first thing to make a paper airplane you do is you bring down this to the middle and bring it to a point. Like so. You do the same on the other side. And that is pretty much your basics. Beginnings of a paper airplane. Okay, so we bring it to a point. Then we tuck this back up, and we're lining this bottom that we've just made here with this one here, and bringing it up and making it a strong crease there. I'm going to use the back of my scissors just to make sure it is a strong crease. Like so. The scissor handle, I should say. You do the same on the other side. So you're bringing this line up here to line up with this one here. Like so. There you go. There we go. Now, what you do is you pull that up. You let it come back on itself like, she says. How'd it go? Like that? No. This is where I can't get it to work. Why are you not working? That's it. You fold it down on itself. Like that. That's it. There, that's what I'm trying to do. And you'll see you end up having this pointy out bit here. Same on the other side. I don't know why it wasn't cooperating for me just then. It still isn't cooperating for me. There we go. Like that. So you're bringing that corner down. Like so. So you should have these two diamonds. You tuck them into each other. So you tuck that one into under there. Like that. So you've tucked it underneath this flap here. And then this like kite, half kite shaped thing we've got here. Fold it under and tuck it under. And that is your basic, well that's the basis of your journal cover. It's done. It's pretty much done. All you need to do now is bring this up to there. Obviously lining it up nicely. And bring this over there. And we have a little tiny journal cover. You tuck that under there that stays closed on its own. Now what we need to do is get some pages inside it. Book page. I'll probably get 2 with pockets out of each book page. So let's do that. Let's cut the book page in half. that's, yeah, probably the perfect width, just too long in height. So what we do is we get this, we fold up the bottom, obviously the writing's upside down, but that's fine because you can decorate it. And there you go, one book page. What else have I got that I can make book pages out of handy? I've tidied up everything up too much. We've got some of this brown paper, some of this brown envelope paper. I can cut some out of this. To make that a little bit neater. Although you might want it torn. I'm going to trim that black bit off because I don't really want any writing on it. And there's a recycle thing there, so let's trim that down. Okay, but that should be a perfect, yep, there you go, little page there. Like I said, you can just use just normal printer paper. I'm going to cut a bit of this purple off. Oh, not cut it straight, woman. I'm going to put that on the outside like so. I'm just going to see if I've got some plain paper I can use lying about close by. Possibly not. Something else you can do, the little envelopes that we made, you can use them and stitch them in. So you've got a page that side and a pocket that side if you wanted to. This one's a little bit too big for this, but you get the idea. I'm just going through what I've got stashed next to me. A lot of it's already been made into stuff. A bit of tea dye. This is one that I'd folded into an envelope shape, but I can still cut it up and use it. So just because I want to actually give you a complete little journal here. So see, that's now too long. So what you can do, and what I will do, is I can fold that in like that, making it shorter, and then this bit can go folded in that side. Pages do not have to be the same length. This bit can go folded in that side, and it can either be a flip out like that, and where, because I want to cover up the ink, I would glue this bit there. So there we go. So that bit, put another half a book page in there. Remember, we got the book pages. And this one I might fold up the corners. Like so. And let's do this like this. So we actually have pocket, pocket, tuck, tuck. That could be quite cute, couldn't it? Like that. So that goes in the middle there. And I think I'll use a little bit more of this paper here. put that there. There we go. So that would be your pages for the journal, and then we would stitch them in. I need to refed my needle before I can stitch them in, so I will be right back. Okay, back. Threaded needle, and remember I said I was going to paper clip these in place, keep them in place. I'm going to do that now. So I've picked up a couple of paper clips that have tangled themselves together. Why does that happen? Does anyone else have that problem? Let's untangle them. There we go. So this is obviously now my shortest paper in the book. So I do need to make sure that that's sewn all the way through. Do it that way. So that'll hold that in place. At the bottom, I'm going to put this one on the other side at the back. And then hopefully all them papers will stay in the right place. I am going to make sure it is folded properly. Like so. I did trim down some of the pages a little bit because they were sticking out. But that needs to be able to close. And that does. Like that. And then we start stitching. Remember, centre, then top or bottom, then the opposite, and cut back through the centre. I'm going to go centre. I'm going to make sure that this triangle is caught. So it might not be exactly in the centre, but it's going to be close enough. I think that's pretty much centre anyway. Again, ideally, you would use a piercing tool for this, because it is quite hard. Make sure you don't stab yourself in the hand. Oh, this is actually harder than the other one. If you're struggling like I am to pierce it, the other option is, in fact, let's do it that way, because this is another option that you can do, and I forgot you can do, and it was a good way of showing you another option, and there's no needle needed. So let me just do this. Why did I not think of this? Plus so get a length of string. And what you do, well, I say no needle. There is a needle. You need to make a hole at the top and the bottom here. But that's a lot easier to go through than what I was just trying to go through. I'm going to poke it with a needle, and then I'm going to find something to make the hole a little bit bigger. I have got the right tools for it, but I obviously don't want to pull them out because you might not have them. So if we poke it through with the needle, in fact, if I push the needle all the way through, it'll probably make the hole bigger anyway, because the eye of the needle is much bigger. Like so, and then wiggle it around and it will stretch that hole. Same on this side. Pull it all the way through, wiggle it around, and it will stretch that hole. If that's still not big enough for you, which it might not be. I didn't look at that. That's poorly lined up. Might need to move the fold. It should have been on the fold. But you know what? We'll make do. I'm going to make them holes bigger. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my hole punch. Where's my hole punch? Where's my hole punch? I didn't. See, this is it. We'll just make it up as we go along. Right, we want the hole punch to make the holes on that actual seam. So we should be able to see the seam through. Yes, we can. Not too close to the edge. Remember, we don't want it to go off the edge. So let's bring it down like that. Now, see, now I can adjust the hole so it's not on in the wrong place. Oh, get that out of the way. I'm just going to make sure that seam is noticeable through the hole punch. There you go. I can just see it. Centralise it. Pop that down. There we go. Should have done this the first time. Right, now, what we want to do is get all our papers lined back up again. I'm going to clip them to the back. There we go. Clip them to the back there. Then we take our thread. We go through the hole. Like so. We take this one and we go through the hole. Like so. Then we pass each other at the back. We go back through the holes. This is a way to do it without special tools. That's now in my way. Bear with me. I can't see very well. Like so. Same with the top one, through the holes. Ideally, you'd have all your pages underneath this hole slightly, but it should be fine. Why is my cup there? It's so annoying. Right, okay, so there we go. We're through the hole, Try and even the strings out a bit. Pull them quite tight. This is why you ideally would have them shorter. So it's now cutting into that one at the back a little bit, but that's fine. And then put it tight. Put it tight. And there we have a very simple binding, but your paper's in there. It's not going to move anywhere unless you pull it hard. You can remove them if you want to. But there you have a bound paper thing without having to mess about threading a needle, which takes me forever, and worrying about whether you can get it through all the pages. There you go. I'm going to trim off them strings just because it will neaten it up a bit. They are a little bit loose. I should have pulled them a bit tighter, but as I hadn't cut them down low enough, it was starting to cut into that paper in the back. That is what I will say, is you really do want all your papers when you're doing this one to be below wherever the hole is. So, but here we go. Let's trim that off. And there we have it. And I know I promised to show you how to do the three holer pamphlet stitch. I will in a future video, but for now that is us down. So you got this little junk journal here that I made today, this one here that I've made today. Remember, you've got your pockets here. They're quite loose pockets, so you can actually get quite a lot in that. I could probably fit, you know, all of the other journals from the I could fit them all into that pocket. So you could fit quite a lot of stuff in there. So these are the ones that I showed earlier. That one's just a cover that you could use, and you would put the, and like I said, the card you could use as cover. It's just ideas of what you could use as cover for little mini journals. But yeah, there we go. So they're the two I've made today. So this one here, well, I did the freehole pamphlet stitch miserably, out of line, but you got the idea. And then I also did this one and I've used string fastening. And because you've got the 2 strings going over there, you could actually put more pages in and have 2 what we call signatures in there. So you could have one on this side and one on that side. There you go. Simple, quite elegant. That one's probably not as simple. This one really simple, and that one easy peasy. See you tomorrow. Bye bye for now.